Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Saturdays with Tara Hangout on Air. I'm Mary Beth at the Law of Attraction Club, and we're on the web at theloaclub.com. On these Hangouts, we collaborate with our friends Tara. This Hangout is the summary of our theme for the week and continues on our member conference line with live Q&A. Today's topic: more of Chapter 9, Questions and Answers. What is the role of action? Must I work hard to succeed? You can get invites to our open calls, which we offer periodically, and our free letting go process by going to theloaclub.com. So now we're going to turn the Hangout over to Robin and Tara.
From Abraham through Esther Hicks. Your action has nothing to do with your abundance. Your abundance is a response to your vibration. Of course, your belief is part of your vibration. So if you believe that action is part of what brings your abundance, then you've got to unravel that. Let's do some unraveling together. What is the role of action? Does success require physical effort? We enjoy the opportunity to tackle these simple questions because there is a widely held belief in your society in the need to stay motivated and work hard. It's part of the formula offered by almost all of your how to be successful gurus. For example, from Colin Powell. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. And from Vince Lombardi. The price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. There are many words like these from famous and successful people describing hard work as a necessary ingredient for success. In fact, the virtue of hard work is such a common mantra in your society that it's almost a religion. But it's an idea that's based upon a flawed understanding of who you are and the nature of the world that surrounds you. Let's begin by understanding how it is that so many get it wrong. From Bashar through Daralanka. You must simply remember in everything that we discuss that your outer physical reality is not outer, it is inner. It's just a reflection of you at every given moment, individually and collectively. So if you find as you view your outer physical reality that there are things about it that you would prefer to change, all you really need to do is to change something about yourself, and you will see that change take place unerringly and effortlessly. And all your explorations and all your ideas, no matter how they may magnify scientifically or otherwise, are all going to be the result of the way you change the idea of how you see yourself and what you know is possible in your dimension of experience. In other words, one often thinks he has an external reality he was born into and he's sharing with everybody else. Your world is not identical, but may be very similar. This world, with all its seeming history and geological artifacts and so on, is not actually out there at all. It's all an inside job. and nobody can tell you how your world works. By your belief choices, you attract into your unique version of reality, moment by moment, versions of everything and everyone that match those choices. And each belief choice is therefore self-reinforcing, because once made, your world conforms and demonstrates to you the validity of your choice. And that is what so many of those famous and successful people do not understand. In other words, the external reality you think of as a world you were born into and you're sharing with everybody else, that world has a history, and it's not actually out there at all. By law of attraction, what you choose to believe becomes your reality. If you are aligned at all levels within you in the belief that something will happen, then that thing will happen without you lifting a finger. You know, quote unquote, that every morning the sun rises in the east, and it does. If you are aligned around the belief that it cannot happen, then no amount of effort by anybody can bring it about. You, quote, know, unquote, you cannot defy gravity, and you can't. But there are many things that lie in between those two bookends. There are things you think that are possible if you do this, or if you can persuade that person to do this or that. And so you get engaged in activity. But it is not the activity that is determinant. It is your belief about it. If you believe activity is necessary, it will be. If you believe that activity will bring about the desired result, and you do the activity, you will be successful. And maybe you'll become rich and famous, and like many others, begin to extol the virtue of hard work. If you believe that activity might bring about the desired result, and you do the activity, you might be successful. Your chances of success are determined by what you believe, not by what you do or how hard you work at it. It may seem backwards to the way you've always seen things, but here's what you need to know about your role in this creative process. All beliefs are a choice you make. Circumstances do not point you to what you can believe. What you believe creates your circumstances. Understanding how all this works means reconciling two truths. Truth number one is that you live in your own thought-created virtual reality, and you can't change truth number one. It's an unchangeable fundamental fact of life. You are not a human being in a space-time world. You're a timeless extension of the collective consciousness of Source. You're nothing more and nothing less than a thought form. Everything that exists is, at its essence, a timeless, spaceless thought form. Truth number two derives from truth number one. You have thought that virtual reality of yours into existence. In it, your avatar is a physical creature doing physical things in an action-centric game. In other words, within this game you're creating, you are a human being in a space-time world. But truth number two is not an absolute, unchangeable fact of life. even the defining concepts of space and time are temporary constructs, and you've put them in place to serve as the stage on which this story of yours will play out. So, truth number one is you live in your own thought-created virtual reality. You can't change truth number one. Truth number one is timeless. Truth number two is you're a physical creature doing physical things in an action-centric game. But everything about truth number two is changeable by you. Truth number two is temporary. So now the questions become, what do you want to change and why do you want to change it? And even beyond that, what does that word success itself really mean once you have this different perspective on what's actually going on? And to answer that question, you have to remember why you created this virtual reality in the first place. It all comes back to this. You are source experiencing itself. You created yourself and your matching context for the fun of the adventure. You narrowed your conscious focus to experience heightened contrast, to make new choices and create new wondrous things. You've built this complex game so that you can mix it up with other conscious entities. Entities like yourself that are all extensions of a collective oneness. Being fundamentally limitless, you wanted to explore the idea of limits. Being timeless, you wanted to experience things in a sequence. And you found you couldn't do that without putting aside, to some extent, the knowledge of who you are. And you've been putting it aside so consistently, you've forgotten it altogether. And now we're here to remind you. You're in this game for the joy of creating new things. So to be successful, you have to some extent to regain the awareness of who you are, to relearn how to experience contrast as a gift, to experience passion and desire, and simply have fun as you move from experience to experience and preference to preference, and being up to your elbows with your hands in the clay of all that is. So what do you want now? Answer that question for yourself and then line up with it. By which we mean, allow yourself to believe it at all levels, consciously and subconsciously and superconsciously. If you're not lined up with what you want, there's no amount of work on the planet that will get you there. And if you are lined up with it, then no work is necessary. It will all feel like flowing with the current. And there will be many times where you will find yourself somewhere in between those two. This one used to say, take no action that's not inspired action. Get into alignment first. Then one day when he was stuck, he decided he should take some action anyway. And as he did, he got into the flow. Alignment came as he took the action. And so now he is more flexible on this topic because he has come to discover that there are many paths to alignment, and sometimes doing can help. But here's the point. Getting into action that's hard work and hating it will not get you there. If action feels necessary, always start with the end result in mind. That's why plans are useful. They help you to be happy about where you're going. They help you to visualize and anticipate success. If you're unhappy now, but thinking you'll be happy when you get there, you can't get there. You can only get there by being happy now about the future you're creating. We want you to get so blissfully happy in the imagining of what you want that you don't care about so-called reality. Because in that state, you've dropped all resistance. And once you're there, manifestation is inevitable. If you start from the premise, as we said before, that the world is out there, and let's say your goal is world peace or saving the planet, then it's entirely reasonable that you would put your energy into reaching as many people as you can. You need to create a groundswell of popular opinion. You'll be doing things like joining or organizing groups that see things as you do. You'll be into coordinated days of meditation or prayer and healing energy. You'll be writing and calling and painting pictures to inspire breakthroughs in world thinking. And there's not a single thing wrong with any of that. If it feels good, go for it. The simple truth, however, is to achieve that goal or any goal, it is not necessary for you to do anything. You do not have to reach out to millions and attempt to persuade them. You need only to choose to expect to step into a different version of the world, and you will. So, no action at all? The key is what feels good. If you do stuff and it feels good, then what you're actually doing is creating that tapestry of yours in alignment with the way you want things to be. Now, in the physical world, of course, you are all doing creatures. But the doing needs not to be done from some desperate or must-do place. If you're overwhelmed or sad or angry about things, stop. You're heading in the wrong direction. If you're in alignment, no action is necessary. If you're not in alignment, your cause is lost before you start. There's not enough potential action in the universe to bring about something against the pull of the most powerful creative force that exists, your beliefs. Because it is your beliefs that create everything in your world. When you're in alignment, doors appear before you that you never knew existed, and they will open at your touch. And as you step through them, you will do stuff. And it will be easy. It will be simple. You will be flowing downstream with the current, and it will be fun. So we say, choose to believe the following. There's a powerful action plan you can adopt for this action-oriented game of yours. We call it learning to be you. Find a way to remind yourself of who you are. Let's say twice a day. Then do it 10 times a day. If you do it 10 times a day for a month, your subconscious will get the message, and you'll be on your way to ongoing and ever-present awareness. That's mastery. And you can do it all in the comfort of your own home. That's the doorway to peace and power and fun and freedom. That's the window to your soul. And we're very much looking forward to dancing with you in that space. What a hoot.
This hangout was the summary of our theme for the week. We do 3 live calls a week with Q&A for our members on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. You can become a member by going to theloaclub.com/join. So now our longer discussion continues with questions and answers on our member conference line. So back over to Robin and Tara.